Hello friends, Ben Ochart here. Thank you for tuning in. I just arrived from Dublin, Ireland, after being away for 10 days, and I left my tanks under the care of a friend of the family, and I'm coming downstairs to check it out, and I'm going to go ahead and share with you just the raw, unedited look at what I found when I came back. And so far, from what I can tell, it's not looking too bad. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tanks after my being away for 10 days and share your comments below as I go through it. The tank I had the most concern over was this little hospital tank right here. I have two good-sized fish in here, the eye biter and also Coengi. Now the Coengi looks pretty good, but the eye biter is still going to need to stay in isolation until he can eat a little more. But it looks like the Coengi has fattened up a little bit and looks in pretty good shape, and hopefully he hasn't been beaten up on the eye biter. Eye biter is still looking a bit emaciated in my mind, and I did move them to a 1 feeding a day schedule while I was gone to help prevent the water from getting too polluted. I'm going to go ahead and swap out some water in this tank and probably return the Coengi to the larger tank and see how he does, and just leave the eye biter in here until he starts to recover and look a lot better. Hopefully that can happen. So that was one tank I was very concerned about. The 210 actually looks really, really good. The fish are very anxious to see me, and all of them look in real good shape. As you can see, hungry for sure. I'm going to go ahead and feed them, and I'll probably do a little water change. It's been about 10 days, so I'll do a water change on their tank. And the sump actually looks pretty good. Remember, I overfilled it about an inch or so from the top. Took the socks out, and it went down. It certainly experienced some evaporation, but for 10 days, that's not bad at all. So I'm pretty happy with how it looks after 10 days. We've got definitely a little bit some algae that I would normally be cleaning up in regular maintenance. A little bit of algae, that's to be expected after I was away. See a little bit of brown algae there on the top here. Here's the 55 gallon with the OB. He looks great. And again, a little bit of brown algae on the glass. That'll be very easy to clean off. This tank has the Shisei in there, doing a good job. And here's that Yeha zonatus, looking good. All these tanks will get a water change. I had left very specific instructions, if you saw the other video, on how to feed each one. There's 4 pellets per side. You know, each tank had very clear instructions on what to feed. 4 or 5 pellets twice a day for this guy here. This is the little green tear all by himself. Probably going to get him a few little fire mouths as tank mates, but this tank looks great also. No casualties. 90 gallon looks really, really good. Water level's down a little bit. The this acrylic lid needs to be flipped. I flip it every week. Hasn't been flipped in 10 days, so you can see the way it bows a little bit. So I'll flip that so it'll look good again. And it looks like the feeding schedule worked out really well for these guys. They look really, really good. Very happy with the way they look. The tank looks in really good shape. Hardly any algae at all, no real signs of like it doesn't look like it really needs to be cleaned, except there's a little bit of brown algae spots along the bottom. That's a real simple cleanup. Here's the the planted tank. Yeah, this one looks probably the most messy of all of them. It's got some green algae growing, and it's got some muck here and there. So this one needs probably the most thorough cleaning of all of them. It's got a couple snails in there and a couple cherry barbs that are hiding. Mr. Mustard looks great. Got to put a background on this tank so you don't have to look at all those ugly wires in the background. But he looks wonderful. Tank looks clean. I can hear fireworks popping outside. It's the 4th of July. Water level's down just a little bit. But otherwise, all things considered, Mr. Mustard's little top fin tank looks great. The community tank also looks good. We have some swords here that for some reason got uprooted, so I got to put those back down. But the lemon tetras, the serpes, green laser cories, the rummy noses, they all look great. And a whole bunch of pagoda snails. But the person that took care of the tanks, she did a wonderful job. I'm really fortunate to be able to have her. She's actually a very close friend of my oldest son, who happens to live here in Nashville. She's watched our house before, but not for this long of an extended time. So at any rate, I would say everything worked out perfectly. I'm going to move some fish around, put some fresh water in some of the tanks, and this fish room is going to be pretty much back up to snuff and good to go. Thank you for tuning in, my friends. I'm anxious to put some new content out for you, in particular the content related to my trip to the Seahorse Aquarium in Dublin. It's going to blow your mind. It was an amazing fish store with some great personnel and a wonderful owner who has just a great mission on what he's doing. So look for that. Stay tuned. And I hope to see you on Saturday for the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. That's Saturday at 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. And there you have it. Thank you, my friends. Bye-bye.